What's your initial? You got one?
Not really. She don't have any like
Oh, yeah, one.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
Yeah, I had to give up one. Yeah, nah.
All right, so we met with your
Aunt Mary,
Aunt Faye,
and
Aunt Ed. And it was like for an hour and a half. We just talked, and they told us about their life, where they were born, where they grew up, and so forth. And I did some interviews with my mother, Cody's mom, Regina, and yeah, which is your daughter, like, and Cody's dad. And my family, we've been talking for a while about us even doing interviews, so that one day when they get older, if for some reason we're not around, they can know our thoughts, our history, where we came from, where we grew up, things that we were a part of, some of our beliefs, so they could just know us. And so one day Kumani's going to be older and she's going to have kids, and that'd be fantastic if they could see their great grandpa and get to know you from you. And so that's why I wanted to do these recordings, and I want to do them for all my family, like, and you know, the brothers that I have quite a few brothers, and they have, some of them have wives, and I would like to do for their wives, mother and father as well. So I just want, you know, we're really trying to be committed to one another as a family, and what like you talked about with being a part of Freemasons and that brotherhood, that's something that's really important to us. Cody and I have been doing research on our family trees, so we're trying to learn more and more as much as we can. I've been able to research and go back and find all the way back to my father's father. So you know, my father is Willie Hyles. His dad was Marshall Hyles. His father was Moses Hyles. And then I stopped right there, and I can't find any more information. So to have someone here that is almost 100 years old is pretty exciting and amazing, and a feat that should be recognized. So you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of history behind you, and for us to even be able to just soak in an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever this interview will be for is an honor, honestly. You know, I didn't get a chance to do this with my father because he passed away 2.5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, a lot of information and history was lost when he passed. So to be able to have the opportunity to do it with somebody, and he was 62 years old.
62.
Yeah, he was 62 years old. Yeah, 62. No, he had just turned 63 actually. His birthday's in July. He just turned 63. And how old are you, Granddad?
94.
94. So you got 31 years on April 9th. You got 31 years on top of him, and we get to bask in that. So I just want to kind of preface the interview with that. But I'll just be asking you some questions about, like, where were you born? How far back can you remember about who your parents were? Your grandparents and so forth. Maybe where they came from, where they lived. And then start talking about, you know, your birthplace, first things that you can remember, what life was like when you were growing up, and things like that. Aunt Faye and Aunt Mary and Aunt Ed told us a lot about their experiences, and we heard some incredible stories. And I expect, nonetheless, I mean, when I saw that picture of you with all those black men, those African men, and
where you find that picture at?
Uncle Steve sent me a bunch of pictures.
Man, yeah.
And
I know he got a lot of them.
And I was just amazed to see all those men collectively together, in what looked like nothing but a positive situation. And I said, I definitely want to know more. So when Cody, we've been talking about trying to come and do an interview with you since the beginning of the year, and we're like, well, when's the best time? We need to get out there to see you and to learn from you, to talk to you about this. And Cody's like, you know, I got this Friday and Saturday off, and we're like, let's do it. So I took the day off.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
I'm a Alabama boy.
Okay, that's
I'm
okay.
born in Alabama.
Muscle
Shoals, Alabama.
Shoals?
Muscle Shoals, like your muscle, I guess.
Yep, Muscle Shoals.
And then 1921, April the 9th, my daddy, William Blake Perkins.
William Blake Perkins.
They call him Bill, I guess, a lot of the Perkins
Right.
Bill. And I got to see his mother just about one time. She was married to a white man, I think. Yeah, and they come to visit. She come to visit her son. I saw her just one time. My grandmother.
Your grandmother.
In Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Now, was that his father? Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't his father. Not that I know of. See,
Okay.
I don't even know that.
Oh, okay. Could have been.
I don't know how long they had been married or what,
Right.
He brought his wife over to see her son.
Uh-huh.
I just saw one time in my life. He was a white man.
Do you remember her name?
Sure don't.
Okay.
I was about 9 years old then, I guess. I don't remember. I only see him one time when I was 9 years old, his mother.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I was born in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And my doctor was a white doctor, I think, when I was born. And his name was David Walker, so they named me after my doctor.
Oh, they named you after your doctor. Okay, David Walker. Okay.
Yeah, Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And my dad had a farm, more or less, and we grew up on the farm. I couldn't go to school enough to learn much for working on the farm, Flying the mules and going on. Boy, now, I just like that, but I guess he had to have me to work at farm again.
Right.
I didn't get no education back to the mountain. Going to school maybe 2 days a week, you couldn't do nothing much that way,
So you have any siblings? Siblings? Brothers and sisters?
I'm all gone. I'm all alone, more or less. My last brother passed when he was 87. And I was about 85, I guess. He was old, a couple of years old, I was.
Okay.
And I've been canning talk ever since then. And like I said, I was born April 9th, 1921.
Wow. So it's just you and your brother? It was just you and your brother?
No, I had about 5 brothers.
Oh, you have 5 brothers.
And I had about three sisters.
3 sisters. What were their names?
Nellie, Ruth, and Beatrice.
Nellie, Ruth, and Beatrice? What were your brothers' names?
Vincent, Jack, and Alec.
Vincent, Jack, Alec, and Albert.
And Vincent was the last one passed. He was about 87 when he passed.
And where were you in the order of the?
About middle way.
Oh, you're a middle child. I can identify with that.
Yeah, I consider myself middle way. Yeah. And like I said, I could go to school 2 days a week, but I did pass to the 8th grade maybe. Finally got to the 8th grade. That's about all as far as I could go. Yeah. Then
what was school like? Do you remember the building, the teachers?
It more white. Down home, our church was white, and our school was white. Painted white.
Painted white.
Painted white. Wood school. Painted white. And my school was about 3 miles. I had to walk to school.
You walked to school 3 miles?
3 miles. They had to walk.
Wow.
We didn't even have a bus to pick us up.
I thought walking half a mile to school was something.
We had to walk 3 miles.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. And from home, to school. And like I said, we had a farm and we had a horse. We had 1 horse and about two mules. and I was riding that horse one day, and the horse slipped up and fell on my leg, on my left side, and fell on my left leg. And it kind of scarred it up a little bit. I think I still got the scars on that. Some of it. I had a wide open, she was pacing the wild, and she won. I had to cross a highway, slipped on that highway, and my leg got on there. I still got the scar on it.
How old were you when that happened?
Shoot, I must have been 15 years old. No, I'm about 12 years old.
About 12. Yeah. You're 12 riding a horse?
Over the phone, you do a lot of things.
Oh, wow. Did you have a saddle or is it bareback?
They had no saddle. Never had no saddle.
Wow.
And the horse weighed, I don't know, they weighed her, the horse weighed 1,100 pounds.
The horse weighed 1,100 pounds. He had a 12-year-old boy on an 1,100-pound horse, just wide open. That's interesting.
When they hit that, we caught the highway on her. I had her wide open,
Mm-hmm.
and caught the highway, and she slipped up, and my leg got caught on there. I still got scar on my leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That
must have been an experience, 12 years old.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, I had to walk 3.5 miles to school every day.
By yourself? Or did you go with your brothers, sisters?
Mostly with some other people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My brother wasn't in that at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, you know, to move. We lived, like I said, we lived about 3.5 miles from school. We had to walk to school.
Mm-hmm.
Back, and they had no bus to pick us up or nothing. So I remember that good. And I finally, this school didn't go but to the 6th grade. And then we had to catch a bus and go further. We had to go further in the 6 miles, so they would have a bus for us then.
So you had to walk a mile to the bus?
No, we had to walk about a half a mile.
Half a mile to the bus? Okay.
Catch the bus and go to school then. And so I did make it to the 8th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and that's for my education was got, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, you know, had us on a farm, you know, so I couldn't, like I said, we couldn't go to school. Maybe 2 days a week sometimes. You're lucky to make it to the 8th grade. I can't go
Right.
2 or 3 days to school.
Mm-hmm.
But I did pass to the 8th grade. And that was kind of nice. And after I left home.
Oh, can I ask you a question about the farm? What was it like working on the farm? Was it like how many acres was it?
I don't know the acres, but put a good large farm, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you prying the mules and
Mm-hmm.
prying the mules and horses, you know, we use horses.
Okay.
But we use the mule for the field, for
Right,
prying,
right.
farm.
For plowing. Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of rough.
Mm-hmm. Was it one of those ones where like the mule would just drag it and it would tear the plow the land?
Plow, you know, some kind of plow, and you would tear the ground, you know, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
I've seen pictures of those. I've never seen one used, but I've seen, except for a movie, I think. I think maybe once I've seen it in a movie, but that's pretty hard work.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Indeed, I had to do that. I had to start, I guess, I was 9 years old, but Dad must have had it on the farm, and I did it for 9 years, because I was 18 when I left the farm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I left in April the 8th. I left home April the 8th. Got in Detroit April the 9th, and it was my birthday. I got here my birthday.
Oh, okay.
And I was 18 years old. In April 9th, and snow was on the ground when I got here. It
Oh,
was some snow on the ground.
what city? Detroit? You get to Detroit?
Yeah, I come to Detroit. Well, I had come to Detroit to get to Inkster.
Oh, to get instant.
The train stopped in Detroit, and then my uncle picked us up, and we, you know, he lived in Inkster,
Okay.
and so I left on. I was 18 years old, left on Saturday night. I was 17 years old, left on Saturday night. Got here on a Sunday morning. I was 18. Got here on my birthday.
Oh wow! How did you get here? Train?
Train.
Oh, okay.
And it stopped in Cincinnati. And at the very time I hadn't seen much snow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to Cincinnati, it was still snow on the ground. It wasn't snowing, but snow was still on the ground.
Right.
Because in Alabama, we didn't have enough snow to see how, you know.
Right.
So I'm glad to see that snow when I got here April the 9th.
And you came by yourself?
No, my mother. My mother.
Oh, okay.
Me and my mother.
Okay.
I had a uncle up here
Mm-hmm.
in Inkster, and he sent for his sister.
Okay. What was his name?
Yeah, so I came with her. See.
What was your uncle's name?
Elijah Tony.
Elijah Tony?
Elijah Tony.
Okay.
That was my mother's brother.
That was your mother's brother.
Elijah Tony.
And your mother's name?
Tempe.
Tempe.
Tempe Tony. T-M-P-I-E, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
And I never called a mother in my life. She had a nickname Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I ever called her.
Oh, wow.
And I was to be 28 years old when she passed, and never called her mother. And after she passed, it dawned on me that I never called my mother. And it kind of taken the toll on me, I regret not calling her mother. But her name was Sandy. That's her nickname was Sandy. Her name was Tempe.
Yeah, my mother, her mom, she called her mother Ruby. That was her mother's name. And so she called her Ruby. And she never called her mom. She always called her Ruby. So that's interesting.
Got that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I was 28 years old when she passed. And it never hurt me so bad till after she passed that I never called her mother. Yeah, but a tear came in my eyes, Yeah, I was about 28 when she passed, and I said I would never marry her, until she, though she lived. I always had an idea I would never marry her. After she passed, I got married. I got married in 1960. February the 2nd. February 9th, I believe. And I got married and got 10 years. And so out of my marriage. My wife passed after 10 years.
How did you guys meet? How did you meet your first wife?
A friend of mine introduced me to her. And he had married her sister. Married to her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we worked together at Ford Motor Company.
Oh, okay.
And he said, he called me Suge,
Okay, Suge.
Suge, I want you to meet my sister-in-law. And sure enough, I met her, and that was taking off. Yeah, we got married.
Did you guys do a double date or something?
Not really.
Oh, okay. He was like, I want you to meet my sister-in-law, and then you hit it off, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I met her, and and like I said, I got 10 years of marriage. And
what was her maiden name? What was your first wife's maiden name?
Davis. Yeah, that was, man, where Mary? They made Mary's sister. It was 8 girls.
Yeah. Like, wow, all those girls.
And her father said, I think when he had seven girls, he said the next come on, it's gonna be named after me, and so the 8 girls were named after her father, Flavor.
Yeah.
Flavor.
Yep.
His name was Flavor Davis.
Yeah.
Name, I think I had no boys, so it's gonna be named. So she's a junior, I guess.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that was a lovely family, I got to met their family, and they were a lovely family, boy. And their father was a minister, Yeah.
So when did you start working at the Ford Motor Company?
1947. I was in the service. I stayed in the service for 6 years in the Navy. 6 years. I come out, I got discharged, and I was drawing unemployment. I went to pick up my check one day, and they give me a note. Go to Ford Motor Company. I went to Ford Motor Company, and they wanted me. I got there about 12 o'clock again, taking my examination. He said, "Can you go to work now?" I said, "No, I got to go home and change clothes. I dressed up, He said, "Well, come back at midnight and go to work." So I went to work at Ford Motor Company in 1947. And I got out, like I said, I was in the Navy for 6 years. I got discharged in May. I think May the 29th, I get discharged. and September the 9th, I went to work at Ford Motor Company.
And what did you do in the Navy?
Cook.
You're a cook.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all, believe it or not, that's all you could do in the service, in the Navy at that time, to be a cook. They won't let you do anything else, you know.
And why was that?
Discrimination. Discrimination, that's all I can call it.
Racism, huh?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to be a bosun mate or work on the floor, work, you know, something else, you know, secretary or something. Shoot.
So then they had too many cooks.
Well, you had to cook, you had to have the help, and then you had to work on the table to serve the
The sermon,
So,
service.
you didn't have too many that worked out.
So did you, were you in the service during any of the wars?
Yeah, I went in May the 29th. The war went on. And when the war started, I was 7 days, I was on the ship when the war started. Going,
What ship? Do you remember what ship?
U.S. Rickenbridge.
U.S.
It's Rickenbridge.
Rickenbridge.
And so, that Sunday morning, about 1 o'clock, I was at sea, you know, I had been at sea, I left Thanksgiving Day. We left Thanksgiving Day. And we were still on water, you know, and continue moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they piped it down, said, you at war. And that was December the 7th, I guess. We said, oh, we're at war. Boy, everybody got so quiet when they piped it down on the main system.
Mm-hmm.
And we were, in about 7 more days, we pulled up in South Africa, anchor, you know, our ship there. And we were loaded with soldiers.
And you were loaded with soldiers?
That's what we carrying over. About 1,000, I guess, on that ship.
Wow.
It's a big ship, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what was that during World War II?
Yeah. Yeah, so, like I said, I joined the Navy in May, I think May the 29th, I believe.
What made you join the military?
Because I was in CC camp, and they gonna draft me in the Army.
They drafted you in there?
They would, they told us that you gonna be drafted.
Okay.
But you can join in the service you want to before they draft you, you know.
Oh.
So I didn't want to go in the Army. I said, sure, I won't go in the Army, so I volunteered for the Navy.
For the Navy.
The Coast Guard really was. Same with the Navy. The Navy was in charge of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in there 6 years. Got out in, I went in 41, got out in 47 in May.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stationed in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the name of that place? I'm from Frisco.
Like San Diego or?
No, I'm from your hometown. I'm from your mother's hometown.
Alameda.
Alameda.
I know they have a postcard.
I was stationed in Alameda
Mm-hmm.
in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out of service in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I went to Ford Motor Company. When I got out in 47, I got out and got discharged and made it 29th. And I bought me a 1947 Chevrolet.
Mm.
Let me see.
New. And at that time, you know, they just had started back making cars per se, you know, from the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to get me a new Chevrolet. I went to get me a new car, and the man said,